See, I believe there are people who have started noticing patterns that they can't quite explain. Have you been questioning your beliefs? Maybe you're wondering why so many people seem to live similar lives. Maybe you're asking yourself, who am I beneath all the expectations I've been given? Is that you, Neo? Is that you, Neo? Because I'm speaking to the Neo within you. I'm speaking to the one. If those questions resonate with you, then you're exactly who this lesson is for. Today, I want to introduce to you a concept I call the society matrix. It's a framework that helped me understand how the world around us shapes the way we think, what we believe, and how we see ourselves. Go ahead and share this live. Go ahead and share this live. We're going to break down the society matrix, and we're going to learn what is the process of how societies shape us. Because most of us are functioning within these societies and have no idea how we're being influenced. We have no idea how our mind works to create our reality. This is the information that we need to know. Go ahead and share this live. Okay, we're going to get started. We're going to take a journey. We're going to take a journey to seek the answer. Because the Neo in you is starting to see the patterns, and you're asking, what is the matrix? I know we're in the matrix, but what is it? I'm Trinity, and I'm here to help you see it. I'm here to help guide you. I'm here to help you understand it. Just like Trinity in the movie. She hacked Neo's computer, and she said, while Neo was asleep on the computer looking for the big questions, what is the matrix? And she said, wake up, Neo. The matrix has you. We're going to take a journey to discover what it is. And every journey starts with a question. Because a question puts us on a quest to seek the answer. The first question of today, what is the society matrix? What is the society matrix? What is the society matrix? The society matrix is a concept that helps people understand how societies shape the way we think, what we believe, what we value, and ultimately how we see ourselves and the world around us. Go ahead and share this live. It's not one organization or one person controlling people. It's not one organization. It's not one person that's controlling people. It's an invisible network of different systems that influence the way we think, what we believe, and how we see ourselves and the world around us. These are major societal systems. Every society needs these systems in order to funnel millions of people through, in order to organize people. You need these major systems. These are institutions, major pillars. The society matrix is a concept that helps us understand how societies influence the way we think, what we believe, and what we value. So let's get into the matrix code. What are you seeing here? What you're seeing is called the matrix code. It's a concept that I created. I thought about this concept because when I studied sociology in school, I began to learn about the different systems that create societies, that societies function in. And I started to see how we were being influenced. And so I was trying to figure out, how can I teach it? How can I show people that they're in the matrix? And so I saw these letters, I saw the word matrix, and I put them in a shape, a 6-pointed hexagon, a shape, a geometric shape. And then I added the 6 institutions every societies need to function, the core institutions. And so I began to see, oh my goodness, this is it. This is the code. And I created the matrix code to show you, Neo, just like the movie, you see, you are in the pod. Just like in the movie, you're in the pod. And you are hooked up to all these systems. And these systems are sending you messages to influence your world viewpoints, who you are, who you think you are, the world around you. And you're not aware of that. You're asleep within the pod. I'm here, Trinity, to help awaken you to your programming and your conditions so you can wake up to it. Because you can't change what you can't see. You don't know it. You don't know you're in the matrix. You don't know you're in the matrix. You don't know the system that is set up. So the matrix code is a visual map of 6 major systems that influence how we see ourselves and the world around us. It represents family, education, media, religion, economy, and politics. Each system sends repeated messages that influences our thoughts, feelings, choices, behaviors, and eventually the patterns we live by. The matrix code reminds us that we don't experience these systems separately. They work together, continuously shaping our world viewpoints and influencing what feels normal. Thank you. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the blessings. Hey, Natalie. Hey, Natalie. Thank you, guys. This is a concept that I've been studying for years. I've been studying this concept for years. I always wanted to know how the world works so I can do something about it to change it. But you can't change what you don't know. You can't change what you don't see. I couldn't see how. What is the system? What is the process? And that's what I've been studying. And that's the concept that I came up with, which is what I'm teaching you now. See, this isn't a prison. Yes, you're in a pod, but this isn't a prison. It's a map. The purpose of the matrix code isn't to fear the systems around you. I'm not here to fearmonger. It's to become aware of them so you can recognize the patterns you've learned and begin making more conscious choices. The matrix code doesn't tell you who you are. It helps you see what has been influencing who you've become. I'm Trinity, and I'm here to help you awaken to the matrix, your conditioning. That's who I am. I'm here to help you awaken to the matrix. We awaken our own minds by the knowledge we learn. There you go. You elevate your consciousness. And I had to ask those questions because questions activates your inner senses, your highest and wisest self. And then questions put you on a quest to seek the answer. And the more data you pick up, the more you build that mental framework within your mind to get to the answer. So when that question comes up, you've developed the mental framework, the pathway to the answer. I'm giving you my mental framework step by step. I'm going to break down. You are Neo. I'm talking to the Neo within you, the one that's asking the big questions. You are in the matrix. What you're experiencing, you're seeing the patterns in yourself and the world around you. You're waking up to the matrix. I'm here to help you see that. And I'm going to take you step by step to show you your conditioning and how your reality is created. That's next. I'm going to break this down, and then I'm going to get into how your reality has been shaped. The matrix, the society matrix, is an invisible network. It's an invisible network of systems. Do you see you, Neo, in the pod? You're hooked up to different systems, different societal systems, influences. And it's invisible. So here's the next question. Here's the next question. What do I mean by invisible. Trinity, what do you mean by invisible? Okay, what do you mean by that? I call it invisible because most of us grow up inside these systems. How many of you guys grew up experiencing being influenced by these major systems? How many of you guys? You can put me in the comments. How many of you guys were influenced by these major systems? You received messages. Golden Mushroom said me. Naya said all of us. 81 Exotic said me. Chronically me. Me. There you go. GBA, me. I got so many comments. See, all of us. There you go. Okay. See, we think that our beliefs, our values, the expectations we follow, we think those are ours. Those are our own. We think that. But most of our beliefs, most of our values, and the expectations we follow were learned from the environments we grew up in. It's invisible because most of us grow up inside of these systems without noticing how it's shaping us. We don't know what's happening. We don't just wake up and decide what success means. Did you guys just wake up and decide what success means? Or did you learn what success meant? And you don't wake up one day and just decide what life you're supposed to live. Did you just figure out what life you're supposed to live? Or were you learned? Were you taught? Were you conditioned to know how to live your life? Learned. There we go. Landscape guy. Learned. There you go. See, we slowly absorb these ideas from the world around us. We slowly absorb these ideas from the world around us. The matrix is the invisible network of system. It's the environment, the different environments we grow up in that shape our minds. That's the matrix. It's a network of different systems that shape our minds. It's the environment. That's why it's invisible. Because we slowly absorb those ideas from the world around us, often without realizing it. We do it without realizing it. So I have a question. Have you ever believed something your whole life and then one day stopped and wondered, where did that belief come from? There you go. The environment, the matrix. There you go. You see it. You're starting to see it. You're starting to see it. Lindsay said yes. C said 100. There you go. You're starting to see it. Have you ever believed something your whole life and then one day stopped and wondered, where did that belief even come from? Y'all experienced that before? Where did it come from? Which environment? Which influence? Which system influenced that belief? Because we think it's our own until we one day stop and question, where did it come from? And then you get to the source. Oh, okay. Come on. Family. There you go. Me. There you go. Okay. Next question. So, what are these systems? What are these systems? What are these systems? What are these systems? Okay. Where are my sociologists? Who in here are sociologists or have studied sociology? Has anyone studied sociology? It's my favorite program. Another, me. Okay, who else studies sociology? Patchwork, me. Okay. Now, put in the chat the ones that have studied sociology. Are these the major systems, the major institutions every society needs to function? You can swap it out for healthcare, but these are the major systems every society need to function. I'm glad to see you too. We all grew up and was born inside of these systems, and they've all influenced us. When I talk about the society matrix, I'm talking about the systems we all experience: family, education, media, religion, economy, and politics. Each one of these teaches us something different about the world. Family, they influence your viewpoints about the world. The education system influences your viewpoints about the world, teaches you certain knowledge. The economy teaches you the world view, its world viewpoints. You get it from the economy, global news. Political systems, you adopt and inherit world viewpoints from political systems. Religious systems that influence your morality and discernment. We get influence and adopt world viewpoints from the media. Yes, you can swap it out for healthcare too. That is true. That is correct. See, each system teaches us something different, but together, they create patterns that shape your reality. Each one teaches you something different, but together they create patterns that shape our reality. Together they influence how we think and the choices that we make. Because remember, we make choices according to our world viewpoints. And our world viewpoints are influenced from these 6 major systems. Okay. Next question, or next topic. See, the society matrix functions like an incubator. Okay? Now I want to get to Neo and you. I want to talk to the Neo and you. Okay? The society matrix, this is the code. It functions as an incubator, a womb. Why? Because incubators shape and grow environments. They create environments that grow you, that create you. See, just as a seed grows in the soil or a child develops within an environment, we all grow up inside the society matrix. That's why it's an incubator. That's why in the movie it was like a pod. It was an incubator. It was creating identities that people were following, that people were living on, That's why everybody was following the same path. You, Neo, are in the pod. You're in the incubator. You're in the matrix. We all grow up inside the society matrix. The environment doesn't determine everything about us, but it influences how we develop. It influences how we develop. What messages have been repeated to me and what patterns have they produced? That's what we're going to get into. We're going to get into next. After we go through these questions, we're going to get into the patterns they create. So last question. Why is this important to know? Why is this important? Why is this important? It's important to know because every choice you make comes from your world viewpoints. And if you never questioned where your world viewpoint came from, then you will spend many years living according to someone else's values, someone else's beliefs, and expectations for your life before you can even consciously choose. Again, if you never question where your world views came from, then you may spend years living according to someone else's beliefs, values, and expectations that you never consciously chose. It's important to understand the society matrix because it helps you pause. It helps you take a moment, reflect, and decide who you truly want to become instead. And to do that, I developed a workbook for that. It's called Taking the Path of the One. You begin to see who you are outside of it. That's coming down the line. But for right now, Neo, I need you to wake up to the matrix first. I need you to wake up to your programming in real life. Go ahead and share this live. Go ahead and share this out. There you go. Create your own reality. This matters. This is important for you to know because once you recognize the influences around you, you can begin asking better questions. You can decide which beliefs still serve you and which ones you want to rethink. Because self-awareness begins by noticing the patterns that have shaped you. And that is why you're here, because you're starting to notice the patterns. You're starting to notice the patterns in the world around you. You're starting to notice the patterns in yourself, and you're wanting to understand how. How did I get here? What is this? What am I experiencing? That is the Neo within you awakening. You're asking the bigger questions. I'm here to help you see your conditioning. I'm here to put words to what you're experiencing. Speaking facts. Stiletto, I'm a true believer that you can unlearn to be aligned to. Yes, there you go. You can unlearn. I'm not here to tell you who you are. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to awaken you to how you've been influenced so you can see the difference from who you truly are and who you are not. How do we get out? By taking the path of the one. You have to awaken to who you are outside of your societal titles and roles. And there's a process for that. I developed the whole system to show you that is coming down the line. But first, I need you to wake up to your programming, to the conditioning. I need you to wake up that you're in the matrix. I need you to wake up to that. All right. Let's move on. Let's move along. See, you can decide which beliefs still serve you and which ones you want to rethink. And that's why self-awareness is highly important. I'm here to bring you awareness. Okay, so let's put some examples on the board. Where is the matrix in real life? Where is the matrix in real life? Here's some examples. What are some beliefs that you learned when it comes to career? What are some beliefs? What are some beliefs? Here we go. One second, guys. Let me find my place. Guys, I am working out of the Society Matrix workbook. It's a free workbook that you can download. The link is in my bio. I created the Society Matrix workbook. It will help you understand and see the patterns that have shaped your reality in your own world. It's a free download. It's my gift to you. I made it my mission to teach how people are being programmed. The link is in my bio. It's a free download. Okay. We are trapped. Yes. You need education to be the best you can be. Yes. I'm not here to say that this is evil. I'm not here to say that these systems are bad. I'm here to help you see how these systems has influenced our realities, because we're all experiencing a collective reality. You ever wonder or ask yourself, how is it that multiple millions of people are following the same path? How is it that millions of people end up doing the same things? I don't know you, you don't know me, but I'm sure we've done the same things. How? How is it that many people can have the same ideologies and mindsets? How does that happen? It happens by being influenced. Messaging that we received from these institutions that have shaped us. It has developed us, who we are today. There we go. Programming. There we go. Truth is universal. Trap you in 40 hours a week. There we go. Now, where did that come from? Where did that belief about career, the career path, where did that come from? Did we just wake up and say, that's what we're going to do with our lives? You go to school, you get a degree, you work for until you're 65, 70, and then you retire. Where did it come from? Because a lot of us are doing that and we're not fulfilled. We're still unfulfilled. Where did that come from? Parents. There you go. Came from school. Yes. Remember, the matrix is an invisible network of systems, an invisible network of influences that shape who we become, shape our reality. We were taught that career path. We were conditioned for that career path. Through our environment. I'm not saying it's bad. It works out for a lot of people. It works out for a lot of people. But where are we ever taught how to find work that's meaningful to us? When were we ever taught to understand who we are outside of our societal titles and labels? When were we ever taught how to find our purpose, understand our passion, our strengths? Where's the classes on that? It keeps you in their system. Very good, Lindsay. C said never. Mackenzie said, and be taxed on that as well. There you go. That's right. Be taxed on it. November says, they don't want you to be taught. They want you to be controlled. Okay, now we waking up. Do you guys see it? T said they train us to be workers of their system. Okay, now you're waking up. Victor said, we free. They tell us. Yeah, they tell us we're free. Are we really free? Are we really, guys? T said facts. They want slaves, not people who can critically think. Why aren't we taught how to critically think for ourselves? Why are we not taught that? Why are we conditioned to not question? Why are we not? Come on. Do you see this? Do you see the different influences? Do you see the system? You're seeing it. Do you see you? See, you're starting to wake up to it. That's why you're able to answer these questions. You're waking up to it. And I'm here to show you your reality, your identity, who you identify as, the character, your role. That is you in the middle. And it's been influenced by all these systems without you even noticing it. Okay, we're going to get into the patterns. We're going to get into the patterns. So I want you to notice something. I want you to notice something. Every example we're about to go through follows the same pattern. Okay? It's going to follow the same pattern. How does the societies shape our reality? Okay? That is the question. I want my sociologists out there to back me on this. Each system, okay, sends us what? Messages. How does these systems shape our reality? They do it through sending us messages. Not only do they send us messages, they send us repeated messages. They send us repeated messages. Messages on repeat over and over and over again. And over time, when you hear that message over and over again for weeks, months, years, it starts to feel normal. The society matrix, there you go. You're waking up to it. These systems, each one teaches you something different. Each one sends you different messages, but together they shape your reality. We're going to get into it. Okay, so how do they do it? Through sending us repeated messages. So Trinity, how does these messages shape us? How does it shape us? See, each system sends us repeated messages. And then those messages, this is how your reality is created. Okay, this is the process. This is the process. Each system sends us messages. And then those messages influence our thoughts. See, messages influence our thoughts, the way we think. And when we put our minds, when we put our focus, when we put our attention into those thoughts, it creates a chemical reaction, hormones that floods our bodies. Now you have energy in motion. Messages get sent to us that influence our thoughts, which influences our emotions, how we feel. And then our emotions, we then do what? We make decisions, choices based on how we feel. And based on how we feel, we make choices that affect our what? Behaviors. Then we do. And then over time, it develops a what? Pattern. See, each system, family, education, economy, politics, religion, media, these are all major systems that we're born inside of, that we all function inside of. Each one of these institution systems are sending us repeated messages. Those messages affect our thoughts, which affects and creates our emotions. We have energy and motion, which affects what we choose, affects what we think and what we choose, which creates our behaviors. And over time, doing that over and over and over again, we now create a pattern that shapes our reality. Do you see? Do you guys see? Let me know in the comments. Do you see? Who here sees what I'm saying? Lindsay said yes. Ladybug said seen. I see, yes. Do you see that the matrix is an invisible network because it's influencing us? It's invisible because it's influencing us without us noticing it. We're all functioning in these major societies and systems and don't know how it's influencing us. We don't know. It's an invisible network. Just like you, Neo in the movie, he was in the pod. He was hooked up to all the systems. He had it in his mouth. He was hooked up in his eyes, his ears, his nose. He had a plug in his back of his head. He had plugs going all up and down his spine. Do you see you? You are hooked up to all these systems. It's constantly feeding you repeated messages that shape your reality. That's why we're able to experience a collective reality. We're experiencing a collective reality because we're getting the same messages. I have to rewatch The Matrix with my current brain. There you go. You're not going to be able, you're going to see it so much different now. Now that you see this, I'm here to help you see it, and not just the movie, in real life. The Matrix is my favorite movie of all time. Favorite top movie. And I was always wondering, well, how is it happening in real life? And so I put the Matrix, you see Matrix, together with society to help show you how you're in the Matrix in real life. I developed a code which looks like a pod, an incubator. It's the environment that you grow up inside that shapes your reality, guys. There's so much that I can teach with this code. There's so much that I have to teach. Real life Matrix. I'm Trinity, and I'm here to awaken you. Just like Trinity in the movie, she got the Neo, and she helped him see what the Matrix is so he can get out. He eventually met Morpheus. She had to debug him. I'm Trinity in real life. I see the Matrix. I know the way out. And I developed a system, a concept that I can help teach you and show you, Neo. Show you the program, show you the conditioning, because Neo was waking up. He was asking, what is the Matrix? I'm Trinity in real life. See, behaviors repeated long enough, they become patterns. So the framework never changes, okay? This is the framework, okay? This is the framework. The framework never changes. Only the messages do, okay? This is a framework. It doesn't change. Only the messages do. What is a matrix? It's an invisible network of systems that shape our reality. It's invisible because we all grow up inside it without noticing it's shaping us. We don't know it's shaping us. It's important for you to know, because if you don't know how your mind works, if you don't know how your reality is being created, there's systems, there's people that out there that do, and they will shape it for you. We've all experienced that. We've all had beliefs where we question and we're like, that doesn't serve me no more. No. We've all questioned our beliefs. The matrix is a womb. Yes, it's a womb. It's an incubator. That is correct. This is so real. Tanisha said it's so real. There you go. There you go. I am Dante said the only reason you have a matrix is because others know how to manipulate consciousness. Our brains, our minds function with different systems. There's different parts of the mind. And if you are able to influence each part of the mind, you can create someone's reality. There we go. Constructs. There you go. It's a mental construct. There you go. Who said that? Very good. Ladybug. Constructs. There you go. We're living in a construct. That's how we're able to experience a collective reality. I'm showing you the system. Okay, I'm showing you the process. All right, we're going to trace some patterns. Okay? I'm going to give an example of how each system creates our patterns. Okay? We're going to start with family. Here's a question. How many of you have had a hard time telling people how you really feel? How many of you guys have a hard time telling people how you really feel? How many of you keep everything bottled up? Lola said me. Lindsay said all the time. Johnny said me. Rosh said me. T said I'm doing better with that. Okay, how many of you guys were always considered the strong one? The strong one. If that's you, I'm not here to tell you what's wrong with you. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you trace where that pattern may have started. Okay? Because a lot of us are stuck in certain patterns and we're not aware of where it came from. I'm here to help you see how it was developed in you so you can choose consciously. You're not aware, you're not awake to it. Yes, walking on eggshells. There we go. Okay, now let's trace this pattern, okay? So here's the message that you got. Here's a message you got from family. Okay? What kind of messages did you get from family? Here's what you got. Be strong. Don't let people see you cry. Okay. We're going to use messages M here. This is a curriculum that I've developed. So M. Be strong. Don't let people see you cry. See you cry. How many of you guys have received that message from your family? Lola said, I started a whole new life. There we go. How many of you guys have received that message from your family? Be strong. Don't let people see you cry. Briley said, yes. Destin said, I instilled that. Yes. Ooh, Deshaun said, what goes on in a house stays in a house. That's a pattern we can trace too. Matriarch says, yes. Okay, so from that message, it affected your thinking. So now you're starting to think that showing emotions makes me weak. Come on. Now you thought. Okay, T for thought. T for thoughts. My emotions, showing emotions make me weak. Showing emotions make me weak. Who here has thought that way? Good, you learned to be vulnerable. Yes, you grew into that. Me, Ross said me. Who here thinks that way, that showing emotions makes them weak? Makes me weak. Ooh, young Told said, you talk too much. I was always told. Ooh, that's a good one. We're going to trace that one. Okay, Destin said me. Okay. So now you're thinking showing emotions makes me feel weak. So now you're feeling shame when emotional. Now you're feeling shame. You're feeling shame. You have a feeling of shame that's attached when you show emotions. Come on. Now that you're feeling this shame, you're making the choice. You're choosing to keep everything inside. You're now making the choice to keep everything. You see where I'm going with this, right? Inside. You see where I'm going? Now that you keep making choices to keep your emotions, keep everything inside, you develop a behavior of never asking for help. Okay, I'm talking to somebody. Never ask for help. Come on, let me know if this is you. Let me know if this is you. So now you developed a pattern of being emotionally available, that which feels normal. Now you've created a pattern where, let me put this up here. You developed a pattern where being emotionally available, you developed a pattern where being emotionally unavailable feels normal. There we go. Now, how many of you guys can relate to this experience? How many of you guys can relate to this reality? You've been getting messages from your family to be strong. You was told, don't let people see you cry. Now you're thinking you've developed a thought pattern, a thought process where showing your emotions makes you weak. So you feel shame when you're emotional. You can't be vulnerable with people. So now you make choices to keep all that inside, which then develops a behavior where you never ask for help. So now you develop a pattern of being emotionally unavailable feels normal. Making Sense said, yup. How many of you guys can relate to this pattern? T said, yes, relatable. November said, me. Lindsay said, yes. Dr. Spade says, yes. Destin said, yes. Kyle Wisely, me, my dear. Very good. Raheem, me. Johnny, yes. Me growing up. Do you see the pattern? Do you see where it came from? I'm here to help you awaken to how it was developed in you. Because a lot of you guys are stuck. You're feeling stuck in these patterns and you don't know how to get out. You have to trace the source so you can become aware and conscious to it and choose differently. But you can't change what you don't know. You can't change what you don't see. I'm going to help you see who you are outside of your societal titles and patterns. But first, I need you to wake up to your conditioning. Ooh, Dr. Spade, you can't heal what you hide. There you go. There you go. Noted. Ladybug said noted. Okay, here's another. Okay, let's go through another one. See, let me finish up with family, okay? See, growing up, what happened when you cried? For those of you that can relate, what happened when you cried? Were you comforted? Were you ignored? Were you told to stop? Were you made fun of? Were your emotions welcomed or avoided? Lindsay said teased. I'm so sorry. I know what that's like. Do you see where this pattern came from? Do you see the process? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Was told I'm always crying. Was told that, oh my gosh, told to suck it up or stop that. All of them different at times. Stop made of slap. Oh my gosh. Do you see, guys? See, a lot of us are experiencing this pain. A lot of us are experiencing this hurt, and we're feeling like we're stuck in life. Do you understand what has caused that? I'm helping you to see where it came from so we can change it. Had to cry in secret. I'm here to help you awaken to your conditioning. All right. We're going to move on to the next pattern trace. Move on to the next pattern trace. Okay. Education. Education. All right. I want you guys to put in the chat while I erase what are some patterns that you've been seeing from the education system. Because remember, the society matrix is your environment. The matrix is your environment that you grew up in and the different systems that influenced. What patterns do you see that are coming from the education system? Put it in the chat. Put it in the comments. The teachers were kind of corrupt. They took their anger out on kids. Can't have a good life without college. Ooh. Is that the messages that you're getting from school? That you got to go to college, right? And as you see here, the matrix is an interconnected system. Each system reinforces each other. You see the education system does what? Feed you to the economy, the workforce. There we go. Teaches a curriculum that gets you to accept the world. There you go. They control the curriculum. Okay. Remember, there we go. Let's see some patterns. Okay, here's an example. Now remember, I'm just giving you guys examples. There's so many different examples of patterns we develop from these systems. I'm just giving you an example to show you the pattern, okay? I'm showing you the process. All right. How many of you guys have the fear of making mistakes? Oh, there's so many messages. Okay. How many of you guys have the fear of making mistakes? How many of you guys tend to overthink everything? How many of you are afraid of getting the wrong answer? Or maybe you've been wanting to start something, but you keep waiting. You keep waiting until you're ready. Brandy said, yep, me, yes. Lindsay said, yep. Dr. Sped said, me. Got her hand up. Okay, let's trace that pattern. Let's do a pattern trace. T said, yes. If you failed, you're a failure. Oh, there we go. Shani said, me. Okay, let's trace that pattern, okay? Now, the education system sent us messages like wrong answers lose points, because if you get the wrong answer, what happens? Then you may not pass the test and move on to the next grade, and then you fall behind. So you got a message from the education system that wrong answers lose points. Wrong answers lose points. How many of you guys have felt that message? Then you start thinking to yourself that making mistakes is dangerous. You don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to make a mistake. Because what happens when you make a mistake? Then you fall behind, you get put in special classes, you get made fun of, you're told that you're slow, that you're not smart. Come on, how many of you guys have experienced that from the education system? So now you're afraid to make mistakes. You're thinking that making mistakes feels dangerous. Remember, I'm not here to put down the education system. Each system is necessary for societies to function. I'm here to help you become aware of some of the repeated messaging that you got from all these systems that affected your pattern, which creates your reality. I'm giving you examples. Teachers would teachers would yell at me in front of class for getting the wrong answer. There you go. You see. Human beings can teach themselves. There you go. I learned best from mistakes. There you go. Now you're thinking making mistakes is dangerous. So now you're feeling what? You're feeling fear. You got the emotion of fear. Now you're afraid. You got fear and anxiety. So because you now have fear and anxiety of making mistakes, you're choosing to do what? Avoid trying new things. How many of you guys have been wanting to start a business, chase a passion, pursue a new idea, but you avoid trying new things? You avoid. Now you're choosing to avoid new things. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself. So now you've developed a behavior of overthinking. Now you have a behavior of overthinking. Now you got to overthink, overanalyze. Now you have, what do they call it? Analysis paralysis. Briley said exactly. There we go. So now you've developed a pattern where perfection feels safer than progress. Now you've developed a pattern where perfection feels safer than progress. How many of you guys are experiencing a pattern of perfectionism? How many? This rings a bell. There we go. T said, needed to hear this. There we go. I always second guess myself. Where did that pattern come from? It's because of the environment that we grew up in. Now, if you keep experiencing this message for 16 to 20 years, how many of us go to school from like pre-K now to 4 years of college? That's 16 to 20 years. If you keep getting that repeated message over and over again from the education system, from your family, maybe giving you that message, you may get in that message from work. You can't get things wrong or you'll get fired. You can't make mistakes. You see what I'm saying? If you keep getting this message over and over and over again for 20 years, this begins to feel normal, and you're wondering why you wonder why you feel like making mistakes feel dangerous. Now you're afraid. You avoid new things. Now you're overthinking. So now you're suffering from perfectionism. Things got to be perfect before you do it. How many of you guys can relate to this reality? Perfectionism. Brandy said, wow. T said, wow. Yes. Lindsay said, me. Dr. Spade, she said, yes. 1+ word. Side questions every day. Now you see? Do you guys see how these systems have influenced our reality? We've been out of school. Some of us been out of school for years, but we still are experiencing the effects of it. We're now set in patterns. T said, damn, this is deep rooted. Yes, I'm here to awaken you to your conditioning, the programming. And I created the Society Matrix Workbook. It's a free download. You can go to my link in my bio and download it for free so you can see the patterns in your real life, in your life, and wake up to it. It's my gift to the world to help awaken us. This is more than just a movie. This is real life. How is it that many of us, millions of us end up with the same beliefs? We follow the same paths. We have the same ideologies. We have the same values. How do societies do it? They create a framework, a system to produce this. I'm not saying it's evil. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm here to awaken you to how we've been influenced. It's like an assembly line. There you go. You get it. You see it. There you go. We have the power. Yes. There we go. All right. We're going to do one more. We're going to do one more system. We are born again today. There you go. Wake up. We are not bots, robots yet. Some of us are like bots. How many of you guys see how some people, it's like they're not conscious, they're not awake, they're not aware to their conditioning. And it's like they're bots. They can't think for themselves. It's like they're all performing the same way. They're doing the same thing. They're saying the same things. And you're looking back and you're like, geez, my goodness. Are we in the Matrix? Dr. Spade said yes. Mackenzie said, yup. Ladybug said seen. You ever wonder how that happens? How are these bots created? This is how. This is how bots are created. At one point, we were bots until we woke up. The Neo in us woke up. NPCs. There you go. There you go. Yes, NPCs. My gamers out there, these are like NPCs. You see how you see you in the pod, in the incubator, in the matrix? Do you see the net? Do you see the different net that works over your mind, your reality to create it? And you're hooked up. You see these arrows? These are your hookups. These are the different systems you're hooked up to. And it's constantly sending you what? Repeated messages. Over time, repeated messages begin to feel like normal. It feels normal to you and you don't even notice it. You don't even notice it. All right, let's see. What's the next one? There you guys go. Y'all see it? Do you see how the patterns are being developed? Do you see how the patterns are shape you? This is how your reality is created. See, when you're constantly getting messages, it shapes your thoughts. It shapes your thoughts. It shapes your thinking. And when you put energy, when you put focus into that thought, it turns into a chemical reaction. Have you ever had a thought and it made you feel afraid? You had a shock to the heart. You had a shock to the gut. You might perspire. You might start sweating. You just get a shock. That's the chemical reaction. You now have serotonin. You have stress hormones that flooded your body from you focusing on that thought. Now it makes you feel a certain way. You have these emotions, energy, emotion now flooding your body, and it's making you feel a certain way, and it affects your choices. You choose based on how things make you what? Feel. And over time, you start to develop behaviors and patterns. Now your reality is shaped, all because of the different messaging you've been receiving. Because each one of these systems sends you messages that develops your world viewpoints. It develops how you see yourself and the world around you. And if you never questioned where your world viewpoints came from, you will spend years living a life according to someone else's values, beliefs, and expectations without you consciously choosing. That is what I'm here to help you see. Briley, it's like the system just makes clones with the same patterns. There you go. See, this is the framework. The framework stays the same. This is, every society needs these 6 major institutions to function. These are necessary. The framework ain't bad. It's the messages we get. Why are we not taught how to discover our purpose? Why are we not taught about our strengths, how to discover it? Why are we not taught who we are outside of our societal labels and roles? Why are we not taught that we're made up of a unique set of patterns? Why are we not taught this? There's classes, there's a system, there's a process. Why are we not taught how our minds work and how our reality is created? Why are there no classes? Why are we not taught this? You have to question it. Because trust me, don't you believe that the media understands how our mind works? Come on, with the algorithms. Come on. Why don't they give us information on how our reality is created? Because trust, they know it. The information is out there. The knowledge is out there. Come on. Y'all see it. Y'all see. We aren't taught it, but they are. They have the information. They got the knowledge of how that's why we're able to experience a collective reality. I don't know you, you don't know me, but we all follow this same career path. We all follow the same path. We're being influenced. We're being influenced. To protect yourself, you have to know how you're being influenced. So that way, when certain messages come your way, I say, disconnect. I don't subscribe to that. No, nope. And you're not just being brainwashed and conscious and just unconsciously going through life. You're aware now. You're conscious. You have to be aware of the messaging you're receiving. Does it serve you or does it not? If it does not serve you, you choose something else. You choose differently. You gain the ability of choice. You gain the ability to choose. A lot of us are following a path that we never chose consciously. But when you awaken to it, you're able to consciously choose who you want to become, the path you want to follow. You guys are woke, boy. I tell you, you guys are woke. How many of you guys see the Matrix? How many of you guys see the Matrix? Can you see? Can you see? Shani said, always. Shani said, me. Divine said, always. Energia said, me. Lindsay said, I do. Dr. Spade, me. There you go. I see it. I'm Trinity, and I'm here to awaken you to the Matrix. I'm here to help explain it to you in your real life. I began to see the Matrix when I studied sociology. I began to see it, but the dots weren't connected for me. So I had to connect all the dots in a way where I can then see, we are inside of the Matrix. And then I drew it out and I said, I'm going to teach it to the world. I made it my mission. It's my purpose to teach this information. I'm turning this into a curriculum. So that way our children can get this knowledge. They need to understand how the media affects their minds. They need to understand the different messaging that they're getting from these institutions, so they're not manipulated and exploited. They need to know this. They need to understand how their patterns are developed. I'm going to teach you guys who you are outside of it. I'm going to show you who you are outside of your societal titles and roles. That's down the line. But first, you need to understand your conditioning, the program. You need to understand how you've been programmed to wake up to it. Thank you, Ladybug said, you are the truth. Thank you. So grateful for you, Trinity. Thank you. When I saw the Matrix, I said, yeah, I'm Trinity. I'm going to help you guys. I'm going to wake up Neo, wake up you, the one in you. I'm going to wake you up to the Matrix. I'm going to be Trinity in real life. This is real life Trinity, teaching you the Matrix. All right, guys, I'm going to end the live here. So don't forget, download the free Society Matrix workbook. It's a download. It's an ebook. You can go to the link in my bio. It's the first link on my link tree. It will help you go through the questions, go through the exercises, go through the reflective questions. It will help you see the patterns that shape your reality. You start to see it in your reality, in your world. I'm going to come back on here tomorrow night and do another live. All right, guys. I'm going to end it here. I'll go live around the same time, like 7 o'clock. Yeah, 7 o'clock. What I'll do on the live is I'll go through the questions again, but then tomorrow I'll have more time to go through all the systems and do a pattern trace and tell you how each of these systems, the media, religion, all these systems. Right now I have to get ready for, I have a podcast I'm getting ready for. I'm on Eastern time. All right, guys, have a good evening. Remember, you're starting to ask the big questions. Keep following that voice. That is the Neo. That is the one awakening in you. You're taking the path of the one. So continue walking the path of the one.